Hello guys, welcome to the episode 2 of the Solana Developer Series. And here we'll be talking about the Solana CLI. So what is the Solana CLI? The Solana CLI provides a way to interact with Solana cluster. It is not the most friendly, but it provides a secure way to interact with your Solana account. So let's get right into it. So in order to interact with the Solana CLI, we have to check if Solana is installed first. So how do we check that? We use Solana and then the version flag. And here we can see that Solana is installed. But if you don't have yours installed yet, move to this website. I will add the link in the YouTube description, the YouTube video description. So solana.com/zh/docs/intro and then installation. Yeah. So you can see every command you have to type in to install Solana CLI. Now let's get started with Solana CLI interaction. So the first command we'll be using is Solana keygen new. So now this command now creates like a key pair for you to interact with the Solana cluster. But because I already have like a key pair before generated, I have to use this -force command so I won't get an error. And then let me enter password and let me enter it again. And as you can see, it has been created. Yep. So now let's configure like the chain we want to interact with. So by default, Solana CLI uses like the mainnet RPC. But in order for testnet purposes, we have to like use devnet. So we have to configure that Solana config set the URL. Now we are trying to set the URL to api.devnet https api.devnet.solana.com. And as we can see, we have configured Solana's devnet. Yep. So the next one now, to access your address, the address you are going to use to like interact with Solana CLI. So Solana address, the address is just like your public key. Normally a key pair comes with like a public and a secret key. So to access that public key, we need Solana/address. And as you can see, here is our address. So we can use it to perform transaction. We can use it to like make transfers and do a lot of other things. We can use it to make transfers. We can use it to access tokens. We can use it for airdrops. Yep, for like airdrops. That is, when we want to like airdrop test Sol. So that's what we need to use. Yep. Now the next command we need to use is balance. So let's check our balance, the balance we have in this public address. Solana balance. And as you can see, we have 0 Sol. So basically we have like 0 Solana. We don't have like any Solana. But then for we to like get Sol tokens, that is test Sol tokens, devnet tokens, we need to use the airdrop command. So how is this used? Solana airdrop, and then the amount of tokens you want. Say I want like 1 Sol now. Now it's requesting for an airdrop of 1 Sol. So it will take some time because it's calling like it's making an RPC call to like some programs here. So that is why it's taking time. Let's wait for it. Okay, so error sending request for this. Now let's try it again. Solana airdrop 1. And as you can see, it's finalizing the transaction. Here is our signature, and you can see that we have 1 Sol. So when we do Solana balance again, when we type in Solana balance, we would see that we already have 1 Sol as our balance. You can see 1 Sol. Now to show your current CLI configuration, you have to use Solana config get. So this command basically shows you your current CLI configuration, and when you enter, you can see, as you can see, our config file. Here is our config file. our RPC URL. Before it was mainnet, but now we are using devnet. So api.devnet.solana.com. Here is the WebSockets URL, and the commitment is confirmed. Yep. So now we can also do something like this: Solana config set URL devnet. So you must have seen this before. We did something like this before, but instead of using devnet, we use a URL. So the both of them are the same thing. We can either use this URL, this URL. You can use this URL, or we can use this one. This just tells the CLI that we are trying to configure like our URL to devnet. So it's still the same thing. You understand? So even though we do mainnet better. So if I type in that command again, Solana config set URL to mainnet. Sorry, mainnet better. And as you can see, we have configured our RPC URL to be mainnet. So here is it: api.mainnet.beta.solana.com. But now we are not using mainnet for anything because we don't even have mainnet tokens. We have just testnet or devnet tokens. So let's write back our command: Solana config set URL devnet, and here we go. Yep. So now to transfer so say we want to transfer now to like to someone else, you understand? Like want to transfer to another address, you understand? So here is what we have to do: Solana transfer. Now you have to input the wallet address and then the amount that you want to transfer. But let's go get a Sol wallet address. Here is our Phantom. Let me sign into my Phantom and obtain my definite address. So and here is my definite address. But before I do that, let me go configure it to definite RPC, developer settings, and testnet mode. And here, now let's check our balance in testnet. As you can see, we have 2.23 Sol in testnet, right? Now let's transfer, say 0.5. We have 2.23, so let's go transfer 0.5 now. 0.5 Sol. So Solana transfer, and then here is the address, right? You have to right click to paste the address, and then the amount 0.5 Sol. If you have more than one Sol, you can transfer one Sol, more than one Sol. And here we go. And as you can see, it's finalizing the transaction, and you can see the signature which shows that it was successful. Now let's go back and check our balance. Let's go back and check our balance. It's loading, and as you can see, it's no longer 2.23 but it's 2.73. As you can see, it's increased. Yep. So and let's check our transaction history to see what happened. Okay, this is testnet mode, so no activity. If the wallet is new and is empty, so let's say like you want to transfer to like a new wallet now, a very like new wallet, and it's empty. So here is how we can go about it. Normally, if you do Solana transfer, the address, let's just say this is the address of the new wallet, and say 0.5. If you try this command, it will throw you an error. If this address was a new address, it should throw you like an error. But then how can you bypass that error? You can use the allow unfunded recipients. Yep. So you can use this flag to bypass that error. You understand? So we'll be seeing how to like use this. The next command we'll be using is Solana transaction history, and then say the wallet address. Now this is our wallet address here. Where did we log out our wallet address? So here's our wallet address. Now let's copy that. and then here is it. So you're trying to fetch like our transaction history. And as you can see, two transactions were found. So here is the first transaction where we transferred SOL to the other address, and then here is the second transaction where we did airdrop, and we got like a signature. Yep. So for testing purposes, say you were like writing a smart contract and you wanted to like test your code, or you wanted to test it on local net, there is this command you can use: Solana test validator. And here is what it does. It starts like the local test validator. Now we are going to see more of this. So let's give it time. It's starting the validator, it's initializing the test validator. Let's give it more time. And as you can see the RPC URL, we are using 127.0.0.1, and then the port is 8899. So basically 127.0.0.1 means that we are running on our local computer. So this is like served on our local like computer. Yep. So in order to stop it, just press Ctrl C in order to stop it. And as you can see, we have gotten back to like our terminal. Now, the next is to create additional key pair. And how can you do that? So Solana keygen new, then out file. We have to use the out file flag. And then say we wanted to like create maybe we wanted to create like a wallet for let's say Alice or Bob. So let's say bob.json. Now you have to enter the password for Bob and enter again. And as you can see, it has been created. This is the public key of Bob. Yep. So now, in order to like check the balance that Bob has, in order to check the balance that Bob has, we have to use Solana say balance, and then you have to give the key pair flag. Remember, this is Bob's key pair, and then Bob.json. And as you can see, Bob has 0. So now let's airdrop say 1 SOL to Bob. So Solana airdrop key pair Bob.json, and then the amount say wanted to airdrop 2 SOL, 1 SOL for Bob. And as you can see, is requesting airdrop of 1 SOL for Bob. And yep, we can see the signature. And now let's try to transfer 0.1. Let's say we want to transfer 0.1 SOL to Bob. So Solana transfer key pair Bob.json 0.1. Okay, the following arguments we are not okay. So is Solana transfer okay. Okay, Solana transfer. So let's copy Bob's addresses. Here is Bob address. Let's copy that. So Solana transfer here is Bob addresses. Then let's say 0.1 so, and then config keep Bob.json. So is doing that. And as you can see, it's trying to finalize the transaction. And as you can see, here is the signature. Now let's now check Bob's balances again. Now let's check Bob's balance. So we've written that command before, and in order to get back to that command, click on the navigation icon that is up on your computer. Up. But then to go down, you click on down, down, down. So click up, 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 and here is the balance. The command for checking Bob's balance. And as you can see, he has Bob has 0.99995 soul. Yep. So you remember that we subtracted 0.1 soul from Bob, so that's why we have 0.999 soul. Yep. So now to calculate the rent exempt minimum like value for an account data field length, we have to use the Solana rent say 128. And you can see rent exempt minimum we have 0.017816 soul. So what does this even mean? What does this even mean? So what does this even mean? An account on Solana is rent exempt if it holds like a minimum balance of soul that ensures it won't be purged for not being like actively used. So if we say Solana rent 64, and as you can see, rent exempt minimum is 0.013363 soul. Yep. So the next command. So this means that to rent exempt for an account that will use say 64 or 128 bytes like we saw in the command or storage, that account will need to have at least 0.0133632 soul of a balance. That could be useful when you want to like create new accounts with the static schema, so you can use the exact amount required to exempt like that storage. Yep. So to see your validator logs, now, we have to use Solana logs, and here are the logs. So it's going to like fetch logs of like all we've been doing so far. So it's like fetch this log, and as you can see, here are like the logs. Here are like the logs. That's massive. Yep. So and yeah, so I think that's it for this episode. We like learned how to like use Solana CLI. We use like commands like airdrop, balance, transfer, logs. We used rent and etc. Yep. So that was like the purpose of this video. With this, yeah, we are able to like interact with our Solana CLI. As you can see, it's still even fetching. It's still even fetching those logs. As you can see, still fetching those logs. Yep. So let's stop it. And yeah, that's it from this video. Yep. So bye. See you in the next episode.